do a quick chat check here. Check it.
Industries. Said. Chat check.
All right. Chat seems to be working, so I'm going to back up a little bit so I am in view of our camera. Maybe. Maybe I'll back the camera up a bit. It does feel a little close. It's not too bad. Lovely. Okay. Welcome back to another. Oh, I guess I'm a little off frame now, aren't I? Anyway, welcome back, as always. This is a typical little stream check here as people get the notification and join us. So, as always, I won't go over too much of the important stuff just yet. I'll wait till we have 4 or 5 people in here. I know some people are interested in this stuff. Chat, if anybody's watching, I think we have 1 person watching. If you can hear me, let me know how I sound. Audio stuff I've been messing with recently. I might even turn our fan down a little bit. There we go. So, today we are doing some wiring prep.
Tunnel. Said. Audio is good.
Fantastic. Love to hear it. As some of you probably saw from our thumbnail and some recent Facebook posts, the engine is in, kind of, temporarily. I'll switch over to camera 2 real quick, and we'll talk about what we're looking at here. So I found my mouse. Oh yeah, that looks really good. All right, so we have our B6T made up in the bay. This is using the part of the B6T mount kit from the Festiva store. It's not available yet. Part of what we're doing this next month is making finalizations to that mount kit. But for now, we have the machine spacer on the back of the block, which pushes the engine forward 1.75 inches, which is ideal for a G series. And then we also have our G series already in here. In this case, this is the G6, the custom 6-speed that I built with Steven. If you're wondering how to get a 6-speed into your Festiva, I highly recommend going back and watching the streams where Steven and I figured out how to build these and then built them. It's a very cool setup. This will be the first one of these in the world, so I'm very excited to get it done and get it tested. In the meantime, the case is hollow because it's heavy, and we just did a video on how to install our crank sensor kit. Another good guide. I recommend watching it on the channel. Right now, the engine, like I said, mounted up on the engine side. Trans side, since we don't have mounts, we don't have our cross member yet, it's being held up with 2 jacks. So there's a yellow jack, another jack at the bottom. I've got it set up just right, so now the engine's perfectly level. It's in the top spot it needs to be in. And from here, we can finally start to focus on some of the wiring stuff. And the wiring for this is a big job because we are doing it all from scratch, bottom up, nothing left alone. That's right, the car currently has no wires in it. All the engine harness is gone, all the engine wiring is gone, the body wiring for the headlights, all of that. It is still here technically, it's dangling off the side right now, so this is the harness that comes up from the fender. That is getting removed though. I'm ripping that out because I'm doing different headlights. I want to run some modifications to the turn signals, and generally speaking, none of the stock wiring is really getting used here. The ECU will be controlling my fan, will be controlling my engine, and it's Aftermarket ECU with all ton of aftermarket sensors, so I don't need to have it sitting here. So we're going to make our own harness from the ground up, basically. Starting from just bare single wires, we're going to build the entire harness in the dash, from the dash to the headlights and stuff, and from the ECU to the engine. All of it. We're going to build the whole thing, which requires a ton of foresight, a ton of planning, ideally some documentation, and a lot of skill. And right now I have like maybe a third of the things I just said. So this is going to be a big learning process. It's going to take a while. I know a lot of our streams start with can I do X in one day? This is not going to happen in one day. This probably won't even happen in 1 month. This will probably be a multi-month procedure to get this wiring done because there's a lot involved. Let's start with the basics here, maybe. On this table is a bunch of wiring supplies I've been gathering over the past year, 2 years, 4 years, and stuff, including some DR25 heat shrink, a ton of connectors, aftermarket fuse box, plastic polyfin wiring guides, connectors, more wiring, ton of connectors. Very importantly, our ECU. So I think this is the one I want to mess with today. Yep. So this is the Speeduino Drop Bear V2. So this is a very fancy new all-in-one Speeduino unit. Comes with 2 big plugs on it. Those are waterproof motorsport connectors. A mostly waterproof case. This is based on Arduino. It's open source. It's a great platform to learn with. They're super cheap to build yourself, or in this case, I think these are currently $420. And for $420, you get
Carol 2 said, Maverick.
Yeah, Maverick's here, buddy. If you're a member of the channel, feel free to drop your Maverick emojis in chat right now. Because Maverick's here. It's so nice outside. Left the door open, so the dogs can come in and out as they please. This is an 8-channel ECU, so it's 8 ignition outputs, 8 fuel outputs. Supports full cam sensors, crank signals. It'll do like VVT outputs if you have that sort of thing. It does a ton of stuff. Basic CAN operations right now, with more being added. New one even has Wi-Fi and Bluetooth, which aren't fully enabled, but they're working on it. We'll do software updates, which are always free. It's really cool stuff.
Said, _Maverick.
There it is. Maverick. That's your big dog. So yeah, this is the ECU running. So we have to wire this in fully. All of our new engine sensors, of which I have a ton. Some of these I need to actually install an engine bay to represent the sensors. I've made some wiring diagrams already. There's a lot going on.
Tunnel said, why are you using the Drop Bear V2 in particular? I'm currently setting up my Festiva for a Speeduino Ocelot, which seems to have more than enough for something like this.
Good question. I wanted the extra inputs and outputs that the new Speeduinos have, because I'm running a ton of accessories. I'm doing a digital dash, which I'm doing a ton of customization for as well. I wanted to be allowed a few extra inputs and outputs. I think I'm using all but 1 input-output right now. And 2, I like everything already being done and widely supported. So like when you buy the base Speeduino boards that you assemble yourself, there's a lot of changes you can make technically, depending on what exact parts you use. You pick this one, you pick this one. I like the idea that Speeduino will have their own ECU that's pre-built, and they can focus on development for that unit. So now, like, obviously, all Speeduinos run on the same software. You tune it all the same. There's small hardware differences you got to keep track of.
Said, doesn't Drop Bear have more I/O?
Yes, exactly. So more I/O right now, which is something I'm looking for, and just general support later on. It's nice when everybody's on the same platform, so we all have the same pinout, we all have the same board. It just helps development later on, which I'm into. One of the biggest goals with this project, as of 4 years ago, when it sat laid up over here, it's always been getting a B6T swap. That was always in the cards since like 2018 and building this engine for this car. But then the longer it sits, the more I want to try new things. So while it sat, suddenly I've decided like I want to do like a wire tuck. And then instead of doing a wire tuck, I thought we should just make my own harness. And then I thought if we're going to make my own harness, then I can add more custom devices to this thing. And if I'm going to be in here making my own devices and stuff, I should shave the engine bay to get really clean, etc., etc. So now the scope creep is like crazy, and there's so many things I'm doing for this car I've never done before. But generally speaking, long-term goal.
Carol 2 said, merge for V2 by 2025.
Oh, maybe. I guess step 1, get it running. Then step 2, maybe some merch. So the wiring harness, I want to be as hidden as possible. I'm going to make it very clean, super tidy, and I want it to be as tucked away as you can. Basically, what you see now is all I want you to see when the whole car is done, minus the intake pipe. Obviously, the intake pipe is back off. I had it made temporarily just to get an idea of where it's going to route. I set it off the side over here. But to give you an idea, it's going to look something like that when it's all said and done. Very simple. I can go over to the overhead real quick for that. but just straight from turbo, tucked up against the engine bay, just above the trans, and then into our drive-by-wire throttle body here. And that's it. You may notice there's no intercooler here. That's because I don't plan to run one. The goal is for this to be entirely cooled by E85 and water methanol injection, which we'll get into more later. But I know it's been done in the past. It's proven to work, and that keeps my engine bay very tidy, uncluttered. I don't know if you guys saw the last stream I did or the other update I did, but what you see right now is it for brake lines. Literally, only brake lines are right here. I don't know if they'll even show up on camera, but there's two little lines that go straight from the master to the firewall back here in the corner, and that's it. There's no other brake lines in this whole system. Just those. Because the rest of it is tucked behind the dash with AN fittings and hardline and a bunch of tucked brake line kits, etc.
Bab said, drive-by-wire how?
All from the Speeduno. So currently, Speeduno does not officially support drive-by-wire. So Steve and I are working on a way to use an aftermarket separate controller that controls the drive-by-wire and then talks to the Speeduno. And then we actually talked to Josh, the guy that invented Speeduno, and told him about it. And he said he's actually interested in making that an official pairing for the Speeduno. So pretty soon, my drive-by-wire controller
Carol 2
and my ECU will talk to each other.
Are you going to monitor intake temps? On the ski I was hitting 110 plus this week and the car was very sluggish. Mark McConnell said, are you using the B6T's turbo oil feed and drain lines or are you making your own?
Brian, yes, we will be monitoring IAT. This thing I'll be having basically every sensor you could have besides EGT. I will have IAT, I will have intake pressure, I will have O2 wideband, it'll have cam position, crank position, it'll have oil pressure, oil temperature, water temperature, etc. Everything will be monitored and sent to the ECU. Am I using the B6T? Not the factory ones, no. I am making my own AN lines and hard lines, though. So the factory hard lines don't quite fit the T25 turbo. You can kind of make it fit. So instead, I actually bought a DIY kit to braze my own eyelets, my own banjo fittings onto hardline. So I'm going to bend my own hardline oil feed with proper OEM banjos, just bent to be my specification, and then very nice AN lines for the coolant. And those will come from the factory feed port on the block. So it's still from the same spot, just custom lines made just like the OEM style lines to fit the new turbo. But yes, so we have a drive-by-wire throttle body. We have a drive-by-wire controller, which I can grab now. It's a pretty compact unit. This will live in the dash. It just needs wired into the throttle body. So here it is. That's the little, there's the camera. There's a little baby drive-by-wire controller. And that is also tunable, modifiable. You can do like physical-based, like hold open anti-lag, not just ECU-based one. But generally speaking, this will end up talking to the ECU over CAN, which would be very nice. And then the other thing you'll see in each bay, obviously, will be the fuel lines, but only from here to here.
I know on the Haltechas you can set it up to kill the car if it doesn't see enough oil pressure. Does it offer something similar?
Yes. Yes, the Speeduno still has the same like engine protect you'd expect from almost any modern ECU. You do engine protect based on temperature. You can do like if you hit too much water temp, you can tell it to like lower your rev limiter. You can have it set so that it will turn the ignition off if you have low oil pressure, set to whatever degree you want it set to. There's a ton of safety constants you can set just like that. What else needs to be put in here still? So my cam sensor's in place, the crank sensor's in place, throttle body is where it needs to be. The throttle body, the sensor, the map sensor actually gets hidden on the back of the custom intake back here. So we'll put that in so we know where its plug is supposed to be. We have our flex fuel sensor down here on a custom bracket I made. We need to wire that in. The transmission is getting a speedometer that's an electronic speedometer. So speedo goes digitally to the digital dash. So we need to put that in to know where its plug is supposed to be. The O2 sensor, I know where it goes. We don't have to install it yet because there's no exhaust yet. We need to put our MAC valve in here. So our boost control valve is electronic. It needs to be mounted somewhere to the engine. But basically right now, I have diagrams for all of the inputs and outputs we need for the ECU. All the physical actuators I have going into the engine bay, I have mapped out. on a wiring diagram that I built from scratch. Now what I need to do is figure out how long the harness is. So we need to make a harness, instead of a wiring diagram, we need to make a wiring schematic to see how long the branches are. And the best way to do that is actually to just physically build it with ropes and strings. So you take some thick rope for your big branches and some thin rope, and you start laying out rope across where you want your wires to physically route to each thing. You tape it all together, and then when you take all that back out, you can lay that on a table and take measurements and know, like, hey, the main wire from the ECU, at some point a wire has to go all the way from the ECU, go down behind the engine, come up across some wire holders, come all the way over, and then hit this flex fuel sensor. I need to know that length. I need to see right now how it's going to lay in the bay, because, like I said before, one of the big goals here is making the wiring harness basically disappear. I don't want to see it in the engine bay. I want to see as little wire as physically possible. I just want to see what you see now. I want to see this clean engine, a custom intake. I want to see this beautiful clean transmission case. I want to see just this master cylinder and booster. You could go, like some people go crazy and delete the master and booster when you do an engine bay shave and go manual brakes. I don't want that, so we're keeping that here. We do have the brake lines tucked to hide those, so no more brake lines in the engine bay. We've deleted all the holes. The battery, some of you guys may have already spotted it, but it's tiny. Right here, we've got our anti-gravity lithium. This is enough to start a fully built B6T, no problem. I mean, this will start a V8. And this thing, like you can see, I can hold it with 3 fingers, no problem. This is 2.5 pounds. It's crazy light, very small. I'll be 3D printing a custom engine bay bracket to mount the battery over here in the corner, and that'll be by itself. On this side, we're 3D printing another bracket that lays flat here that holds our compact modern fuse box that's sealed and a big plug. The other thing is I want the entire harness to come out with the engine. I want it all on quick connect or on bulkhead fittings. So the ECU is going to live under the dash, of course, and I don't think you're going to be able to see it very well on camera. Actually, no, you kind of can. If I get some light in here, you'll be able to really see it. I said if I get some light in here. I said let there be light. Thank you. That's too much light. There. So you can see where I'm waving the flashlight around down this corner. If you're on mobile, I have to zoom in some, but right here where my finger is, you may see those shiny bolts. That is where 2 bulkhead connectors will be. And I just got those out earlier. I set them far away like a goober. Let me grab that real quick. So when I modified the firewall, I did all that work to shade the bay, I went ahead and put these in here. So these are threaded holes, 4 bolts, and what goes here are these. Oh, I'm dropping all my screws everywhere. What goes here are these bulkhead connectors. So there's a connector on here. It's waterproof and latching. The other side is where you put the pins in. So this gets bolted to the firewall down here. And equally bolted here. Again, this is a live stream, so you guys are going to watch me fumble around with this in real time. There's no editing tricks here to make this go by faster. So sorry about that. Alright, it's in. So now, again, probably a little dark for you guys to see it, but our bulkhead connector is now in place. Is that enough light? Whatever, it might show up on camera. I'm too far away to see. I shattered my streaming TV. Literally, like as I set it up today, I noticed it was on. I had it on the ground in the corner because I was using the table for something, and then I think something fell off the workbench and hit it, but it shattered the entire left half of my TV. So I can only see half the screen right now. So there's a bulkhead connector. There's going to be 2 down here for most of the engine side harness, and there'll be 1 more in that front corner by the fuse box for all the power side stuff. But the goal is when you take the engine out, you simply unplug these 2 connectors, unplug that one, and then the whole harness, with all the sensors and stuff, stays on the engine. You pull it out as 1 unit. It also helps hide it. Now that the connectors all go to only these 3 spots, my trunk can stay down here, run against the back of the block, and you won't ever see it because it'll all be hidden by this big intake, beautiful engine, so you don't see all these wires. That's the goal. Speaking of wires, here's a bunch more connectors in our big box. I'm going to switch back over for a second. So back in our box of goodies, I do have a big chunk of harness here. This is brand new wiring with a bunch of different colors. I have used automotive harnesses from like a 2010 Chevy something, which is all high grade, brand new, well, not brand new, but it's all high grade OEM stuff. I just cut it out from a car, like from the taillights to the front, just cut a big section, took it out from the junkyard, paid like $5 for that thing. It's like 13 feet long, ton of good wire in there, ton of good colors for us to use. More connectors, more wires, more connectors. There's so much stuff in here to go through. Like I said, I've been collecting this stuff for a while now. Here's the other side of our bulkhead connector. I have the male and the female now. So this side stays in the firewall. That's where that seals against the firewall. These pins will go basically to the ECU itself. That sticks out. And then this is the flip side of that, also sealed, big latch. So you just put that on, you pull the latch down, click, and now that's in. So that's how it connects to the firewall. And when you take the engine out, come in here, there's a lock, you push that lock down, pull the tab, harness unplugs from the firewall, and there's nothing to unplug in the car, there's nothing you have to mess with like down below, you just unplug 3 plugs. So there's 2 of these for the ECU side, and then on the car side, we have this one, which has bigger terminals for more like power delivery stuff, so we can put more amps through this one. So this is a this one Delphi. Oh, actually Deutsch. There's a full Deutsch connector. More positions than this. I guess it's just 8. So this is an 8-position chunky Deutsch connector. So this uses big pins for big power, big wires. The same deal. This side goes on my harness, and it's steel inside. So it's very strong, like mil-spec connector. This side is a big lock ring that goes into my fuse box area. And then when you connect the 2 of them, this just slides into place. And then you twist and latch.
Carol 2 said, "Are you going to add anti-theft features to the car? If not, you probably should."
It's already got some anti-theft features built in. Otherwise, there's not a whole lot I would add. I mean, a kill switch is easy to add. I can kill just like the fuel pump. I can kill ignition. There's a ton of ways to do that. Digital dash lets me have a CAN transponder, so I can kill stuff based on CAN. I can kill stuff based on proximity. I think in the future I can even set up so it doesn't even start unless my phone's in the car, which I don't think I want to do because your phone's dead, your car's dead. But there's a lot of things to do there. What I need right now, though, is what I mentioned earlier, the rope. Where the heck are the ropes? Yeah, so today is going to be focusing on our physical layout. So we need to install all of our sensors. Everything physical that gets a wire needs to be in its place so we know where to run said wires. And I bought a big roll of tape. I bought a bunch of ropes. Now, I gotta figure out where the heck they went. I thought I was doing pretty good in the organization of this table of stuff. Maybe I'm slipping.
"I called those cannon plugs in my aircraft engine days."
Was it actually used for a cannon? Or is that just the nomenclature? Rope, rope, rope. Where are the ropes? Oh, I think it's in the car. Look at that. How handy. Careful, Echo. Alright, so we have some rope. We got thin rope to represent our thin runs, and then some thicker rope, which we can bundle into bundles of 3 for the main trunks, and then anything where it branches, you just take one of the legs out, you can branch off from there. This was just cheap rope from Home Depot. It was like $8 worth of string. I need cheap electrical tape, which was in that same bag. Apparently my bag's gone missing. I have nice tape I use for like harnesses. I don't have cheap tape just laying around anymore. Seems to be a moot point now though if I don't have any tape to use. Check the tape box. Tape, tape. Alright, I've got some masking tape at least, which should be fine for this purpose. You just need to hold some rope together. So, what do we need now? We need our sensor plates.
I didn't work on a Canon, so it was just a name.
Gotcha. I'm losing parts and losing my mind. Where the heck did my stuff at? I just had my there it is, the boost valve, MAC valve. So this is a 3-port MAC valve. This is how we'll be doing boost control through the ECU. We can do boost by gear. We can do boost like for launch control. We can vary it as we drive. All sorts of fancy stuff thanks to this valve. Since my harness should stay on the engine, basically anything that we're wiring on this harness needs to be with the engine. Otherwise, it defeats the purpose of the bulkhead connectors. So, like if we were to mount this valve to the firewall, for example, then when we go to pull the engine later, we have to unplug our 3 main plugs.
Carol 2.
And then also unplug this.
2-port or 3-port controller.
This is technically a 3-port, but we're only using 2 of 3 ports. Alright, so I think somewhere on the back of the block would be nice for this. Actually, there's a pretty handy spot right there. Mosquitoes. It's supposed to go cold for you. That's not a bad spot for that. The other thing we need to find real quick is my speedometer. Ah, here it is. So this is a factory G-series speedometer gear, and this is an OEM sensor from, I believe this one's from Hyundai. So Hyundai and Kia use the same sensors as Mazda since they've started off building cars based on Mazdas. This converts a cable drive into an electronic sensor. So the factory piece, because Taburans and other Hyundais use an electronic speedometer, but the transmission is an older transmission that was cable driven. This is how they convert it. So this is how I'm converting mine to be a sensor. So all I need to do is put this back in the trans, and boom, we have a plug. So I'll do that, so we know how long to make this section of harness. And then let's take a second and look at those wiring diagrams I talked about. I mentioned I made some diagrams. So let's set up a screen grab. You ready for an infinite loop real quick? Actually, probably go back to this. find. There it is. All right, so here's an example of my diagrams. I zoom in here. It's gonna look low quality because Docs doesn't open with Illustrator. Should I have Illustrator on here? Do. Scanning viruses. This is my file. Oh, oh, my NAS is gonna crash Chrome. Okay, here's my wiring diagrams. So, for example, let's zoom in over here. There's my ignition coils. So we have 4 ignition coils because we're coil on plug, and since we're going full sequential, they each need individual triggers from the ECU. So you can see they all have power from this junction here. They all get ground from this junction here, and then each one of them has a signal wire coming from pin 3, come across here on the wire diagram. This is set up just like a Festiva diagram from the factory. There we go, ECU, gray plug. Here's how the plugs are oriented. So plug B1, that's output ignition 1, so you can see where it's pinned, so it all makes sense. And then I did that for every single thing in this engine bay. So wow, this scrolls so fast. So like if I zoom in just a little bit, you can see here, there's every sensor in the engine, every plug we need. They're all labeled. I have physical pictures of each plug. I downloaded or drew all of these and then labeled the pin counts for them. The factory clutch switch is here. Then we have our pedal. Since we're doing drive-by-wire, we need an E pedal. So I got one from a Subaru that's been modified. Here's our throttle body connector, and then its pins, and then how that then goes to our drive-by-wire controller. And drive-by-wire controller has to communicate via the CAN lines back to the ECU. Here's our vehicle speed sensor, crank position, cam position, the flex fuel sensor, oil and temp, intake air temp / map sensor, our coolant temp sensor, our wideband controller, and the custom gauges we made for the Game Boy. Over here, we have our methanol pump and level switches, our relay setup, and our new fuses, along with factory fuses, the ignition switch, everything you need for key on power, etc. Coming back over here, we have our fan, and our fan controller goes into the ECU. All of our injectors, same deal, they get fuse power, they go to the ECU. And then here's our boost solenoid plug. Mostly everything we need. And then to help keep track of what those are, without having to look at this giant file, we also have our standard component list. So if I open this, here are our sensors, our controllers, our actuators, and then I've also listed our MIDI connectors, which does not matter right now. At some point, I will be making all of this open source, so anybody that wants to do a harness diagram or use this information, I'll make all this available to the public at some point when I'm done with it. But I need to make sure I get it like working first. So here you go. So these are our sensors. We've got our TPS, which is built into the Bosch drive-by-wire. We have a coolant temp sensor and its part number. Cam sensor, part number. Fuel pressure, part number. Flex fuel, part number. Speedometer sensor, crank sensor. Oil pressure, temp. Wideband controller. Neutral selection switch. We have that in the trans. MIDI connectors here. Actuators over here. And then down here, bulkhead devices. So these are things that need to be on that 8-pin bulkhead fitting. We've got the level sender, the relay controllers, fan pump relay, 12-volt coil feed, 12-volt sensor feed, fuel relay, and the main grounds for the ECU. All of those are big wires that hold a lot of power, so those need to go on that one bulkhead. Everything else needs to go on the other 2 bulkheads, hence them not being on here. And then we have OEM integrations. We need the tachometer to go back to the dash. We need check engine light to go back to the dash. We need the clutch pedal switch for our launch control, vehicle speed. We need our key on position for the ECU. We need some sort of load signal for the alternator. The ECU handles that automatically, thankfully. What am I missing from this list? Okay, so neutral selected switch. Why did I need that? Does the ECU actually need that? Or am I just going to delete that? Neutral switch. We have clutch input. Spare output here, going over to, oh yeah, our relay. No, I don't think I actually need the neutral sensor to be in here, which is good. We do need to look at our O2 stuff though. So we go back to our camera here. So I mentioned earlier we have our cool Game Boy gauges. They're not in the garage now; those are still in the house because I don't want to get it all dirty. But I made my own custom gauges. They're housed in a Game Boy housing, and it's on an OLED screen, and it runs on Arduino. I coded it myself, and it shows my AFR. You click a button on the Game Boy, and then it'll display your boost pressure, along with a curve, peak boost, hold warnings, all sorts of stuff off the full screen. And it gets signal from the standard O2 sensor controller. Normally, your O2 sensor controller is built into your gauge. Like when you buy a wideband kit, the controller is part of the gauge. It all talks to ECU. Since I'm making my own gauge, I don't need the gauge kit. I just need the controller part. So we are using the Innovate LC2 controller, which looks a little something like, hang on. Ta-da, okay. Looks a little something like this. This is just the controller part. So normally, then you'd have this plug that goes to the wideband O2 sensor itself, then the controller. And from the controller, we need to go to our ECU and to your gauge. And so I split the signal, ECU and gauge both receive a 0 to 5 volt signal from this little controller. I think in our case this will go in the dash, so I don't think we have to worry about wiring that on the engine bay side right now. We'll have a pass-through grommet and stuff for that on the inside of the car. What I do need to get on the engine, though, are my injectors. That's for sure. Here's my fuel rail. I had to take the injectors out the other day for some testing for a side project. Now that that's done, I can put my rail back in, and that will tell us where our injector plugs need to go. Boost solenoid. I'm thinking the back of the block is a good spot for it. We can also leave the wire for that a little extra long, so that since we're going to terminate it later, we're not actually like building the harness right now. We'll just leave the boost reference wire longer than the rest. That's not a problem. What I'm worried about right now the most, as far as layout goes, is the power wires. So I mentioned the big bulkhead over here on the fuse box. Eventually, that needs to go to the engine, but I want to lay on top of the transmission line. From the factory, you have a harness coming out from back here in the corner. Here, I'll go back to the top view. A factory Festiva would have a harness coming out here in the corner and a harness just coming out right here. It all just kind of dangle here behind the battery tray, and then it runs down the battery tray to where my fuel filter right here is. From here, a big chunk of harness runs across the whole transmission, just lays on top of it, and goes behind the block. I don't want a harness laying on top of my transmission. I want it to be as hidden as I can get it. So the question then becomes, where can it hide? We have the option of making it longer and coming like down and forward, and then it can actually run through our cross member up front and then come up to where it needs to go. We could run it under the fuel pressure regulator or our fuel pressure sensor here, go above the steering rack. That would be pretty hidden because you're not going to be looking down at the steering rack. The intake pipe will be right here. The fuel lines go right here, so that'd be kind of hard to see. That wouldn't be too bad. So let's just start with some rope then, shall we? As soon as I find where this rope starts. Not there. There. There's the beginning of the rope. Something else we're probably going to want. I'm going to guess scissors and tape still. Let's try that for now. Since Echo's fighting. Weird. Weird rope. I'm going to say we should start with a double stacked rope because this one needs to have 20 odd wires in it. So yeah, let's start with 2 ropes tied together to represent the thickness of like 20 wires. I can already see why I don't use this masking tape very often. This is terrible stuff. Wow. Okay. This is unmanageable. This tape is so bad. Hi, puppers. Echo's got a rag. She loves rags. There's so many out here. It's very easier for movie rags. Oh, no bites. All right.
Said Echo.
Echo's a good dog. Probably gonna lay it behind the intake. which means we got to split it 4 times to the injectors. I also sourced a ton of wire clips from Mazda, which should make holding all these in place a lot easier. Probably grab a couple of those now. I found some really nice long ones too. So this is like this is a brand new OEM wire holder from Mazda. So you got rubber tip. It's flexible, so you bend it to hook onto your wires. And then this side, this is an M6 hole. I've got some of these that are shorter, so they're longer. Some that I have M8 all the way up to M10 holes. All sorts of good stuff. Bought a bunch of these new straight from Mazda. Now we can put one on. Where was that holder at? It's right here. All right, I need a little tent for that. This small rope represents our individual sensors or individual wires, etc. This is probably the boring part of the live stream. So if anybody has any questions or thoughts or wants to know anything else about the build while I'm sitting here, so give you something to talk about, feel free to ask.
Said, I'll be cleaning the garage for Mountain Stubba, but I will keep the feet open and check in from time to time.
Oh, good plan, good plan. It's going to be about that time, isn't it? Very close to Mount Steva. Very excited.
said. 8 days away or 7 for early arrivals.
Wow. It's crazy.
Chicken said. Where did you get the heat shields for the turbo?
They're all OEM. This is OEM Mazda Speed Protege Shield, and this is OEM Nissan Pulsar Sunny GT-R, like brand new from Nissan directly. Last one on Earth, as far as I can tell. This will be changing though. I'm getting custom downpipe elbows made, and when I do that, I might spec a custom heat shield for it or some other solution. But long term, I'm using a different elbow that clocks it closer and more down. But this is the OEM Mazda Speed Protege shield for the 2554. Similar to a Festiva, I think the coil and maybe the injector harness will make a sub harness. Makes it easy to change plugs later if I decide to go with different injectors, etc. All right, there's our ignition subharness. Now do the same for the injectors. Ideally. A little zoom this time. You guys can actually see what I'm doing now. I think the fewer branch points I can get into this harness, the easier it'll be to wrap professionally, nicely. So now I'm just trying to see like where the general layout is, and then from there I can start planning out actual branch points, both how to hide them and then just kind of how to do them. Don't need the temporary one anymore. And on the side, grab a non-terminated one. Actually, I think for simplicity's sake, we should probably just make this one rope.
Said. Any in here from UAC?
UAC? What's UAC?
Said. Uyakato Club Brew.
Oh! I guess we never used UAC when we were...
K1224. Said. United Arab
Yeah.
Emirates.
Yeah, UAE. Of course. No, yeah, I guess it wasn't UAC when I was there. It was IAC. It was Illini Auto Club.
K1224. Said. Haha.
Yeah. UAC/IAC represent, brother. Heck, there's probably still a IAC sticker in my glove box right now.
Said. My bad typo. Said. Former USN here LOL.
Well, we just got all the acronyms today in chat, don't we? I need to tap this dirty hole real quick. Or thread chase. That might be the better way to do this. There's a spot for a bolt on the back of this. I'm guessing it was for the old IAC for the JDM manifold, and it's in 6. And I think that's going to be the ideal spot for us to put a wire harness holder. So I like the harness to kind of sit here. So I'm just going to clean up those threads. Very nice. And then we grab ourselves a nice new N6 bolt from my big collection of beautiful new bolts. Somewhere here should be some N6 by 10s.
Said.
25.
Working on a D16 turbo build this week. CSS bottom end built top end Haltech ECU. Maybe a 100 shot, haven't decided yet, but yeah, the whole 9 yards. JJK1224. Said. Will, are you planning on restocking the BP mount adapters?
A D16 turbo build sounds fun. 100 shot, very fun. BP adapters, yes. I can't tell you when though, because the guy that machines those is very busy right now. He's actually the one machining my intake as well. So as soon as he gets some free time, he'll be making this intake, but making it from solid billet aluminum instead of being made from plastic. And then he'll make more of those mount adapters for us. But he's just been very busy, so gotta wait for that. Okay, now I can have this sit back here. Put that in the hole where it goes.
Said. I should be done around the end of September. JJK1224. Said. I've got a printed adapter sitting on the engine RN for mock-up purposes.
Nice. Both of you. Nice. I want a second hand for this, but all my people that could offer a second hand right now are pretty busy. Unless Brian, if you're watching and you're free, this would actually be a good time for some assistance. Michelle was helping me, but then she got busy as well. And Steven is working on a secret project that I will not reveal just yet, but I assure you will probably come to stream, or maybe we'll at least record some of it. If you want to see the surprise in person, I highly recommend coming to Harvestiva. I also highly recommend coming to Harvestiva anyway, because it's a great time.
K1224 said, would you happen to have a good source for the square connectors Mazda used for temp sensors?
Oh, yes. And by good source, I mean me. It's me, I'm the source. Any connector you need, I probably can get it, or I probably already have it. I guess you can't see the table right now, but this whole box, all of that, those are just connectors. I've got Yazaki, I've got Sumitomo, I've got specialty ones, I've got modern editions of old ones, I've got multiple keys, multiple colorways, headlight plugs, I've got actual fancy boots for them all, fancy injector plugs, aftermarket plugs, I've got new pins for OEM plugs, I've got full connector kits, all sorts of fun stuff. But if you need it, I probably got it. So, yes. Just send me a picture on Messenger of the plugs you need, and I'll tell you if I already have it, how much it is, or if not, I can get it for you. I'm thinking the connectors I have here might be all I want on that first bit of harness.
Said, I won't miss Harvestiva for anything. Can't break that streak.
Heck yeah. Let's look at the harness we've made and see if it makes any sense. All right, here's our first little test loom. So we have bulkhead fitting on the firewall. Then behind the intake, we have a wire holder. Goes right about where this branch point is. From this branch point, we have injector wiring. And these strings are not one wire at a time, just for the record. It's like these strings would hold 2 wires each. Over here, these strings will hold 4 wires each. This is just represents like a thickness. It does not represent number of wires. So here we go. 4 injectors coming off of this T point in the loom. And then our cam sensor. So that's all one branch from that loom. Then we go forward some more. I got to trim these tails. From there, we go to another branch point. For this branch, we have our crank sensor and then our 4 ignition coils. Cylinder 4, 3, 2, and 1.
Said, "You are doing great work."
Thank you. I could do better work with another pair of hands. Just saying. Hashtag wink wink, etc. Comma, please help me. Alright, so I think that's one main harness. Because this is actually a lot of pins. I know you only see a few wires here, and like that's kind of a waste of a whole bulkhead, but this is, 8. This is actually 8 wires in this chunk. This is actually like 12 wires in this chunk. 3 wires here, 3 wires here. There's actually a lot of wires. Alright, so that one done. Then the intake one will be the other really big one, because we have a 4-wire map sensor, a 6-wire throttle body.
Said, "I just got home. I'll get cleaned up, eat, and come out."
Yay!
JJK1224 said, "I lack motivation to work on my car alone most of the time."
I feel that 100%, especially when the task is very daunting. When I have one task to do that just like takes 5 hours, that's great. A 5-hour task, I can just like put my headphones on, zone in, and just do 5 hours of work. It's cool. But when it's like this, where I don't know what I'm doing, I don't have a good plan, I've never done it before in my life, it's kind of harder. Which is why it's really nice to live stream. It's great to have 9 people here. That's awesome. To have 9 of you guys in here. We can chat. We can hang out. It's a good time. I do need to know my other input-output list. So I have to build that again in a second.
K1224 said, "All my local car friends have all moved away, so now I am just a potato."
I feel that. I'm busy all the time. My local friends are pretty busy. Like I said, Brian might still be in the chat, but he was in here earlier. Brian's a good local friend. He helped me out quite a few times, so I really appreciate when he's able to come down. And Hunter's also another guy you guys have probably seen on stream before, who comes down to help every so often. Although he's out in Frankfurt now, and he's also been at work a lot, so we're totally understandable. I've had a lot of work to do. I haven't gotten all done on the stream recently because of work.
Said, "The man."
The man? Me? I'm the man? I mean, I won't say no. Shucks.
Said, "Where are you located, bro? I just hopped back in." Bill Taylor said, "I would come help, but I am like 5 hours away and have some stuff I need to get done."
Yeah, Bill, you're pretty busy. You should you should definitely stay busy on your current project. I'm in Lexington now. Lexington, Kentucky. I had to move away from Illinois. I had to get the frick out of the salt. I can't stand salt turning my cars into dust.
Said, I was watching you turn that time attack up.
Oh, the video of Charlie. Yes. Oh, I wish that was me. So the time attack video on the channel, that's Charlie Whitney. He's like one of the, well, he's the fastest Festiva driver on earth. And currently, I mean, because of that, he has the fastest Festiva. A lot of stuff I'm doing here is thanks to him, or because of him, or thanks to his advice, or thanks to his build. He's a great guy. He loves helping the community out. He builds the world's fastest Festiva, and then instead of keeping it secret, he makes like write-ups and stuff on the forum to show you how to build a Festiva just as fast and just as awesome. So, huge thanks to Charlie. As a matter of fact, rumor has it that Charlie might come to Harvestiva this year. So, anybody going to Harvestiva, I highly recommend it.
Said, I have no one living close to help, so I muddle through it by my lonesome.
You have a lot of people close, just maybe not people that are like help. I mean, NC and SC has a ton of people, but not necessarily people that are like really good at wrenching necessarily. But by the way, I know you mentioned IAC earlier. If you're still in the Illinois area, my meet Harvestiva is in Central Illinois. It's like 45 minutes away from Champaign. The details are on Facebook. I probably post them on YouTube too. But totally come to Harvestiva. You can meet me in person. You can meet Charlie in person this year, which is really cool. There should be like at least 10 or 15, maybe 25 Festivas in the yard at once. There's free food. There's camping. We do a junkyard run. It's a great time. It's Labor Day weekend. Be there. That goes to everybody in here. Go to Harvestiva. I don't care if you have to fly there. If you fly there, I will come pick you up from the airport, and I'll bring you a tent. So show up. All right. What else is good? I need a 3-prong connector. Again.
Said, is there room at Harvestiva to bring down my 16-foot enclosed trailer?
Yes. Yes, there is. We welcome trailers. We welcome RVs.
Said, oh yeah, we're there, fellas. Beers on me.
Hell yeah. See you there. Anybody that wants more information on this stuff, add me on Facebook. You'll know it's me because my profile picture is a bee, and my profile is public, and I post a ton of stuff about cars. You'll find me fast. But all the information's on there. There's an event page on Facebook for it. Otherwise, PM me on Facebook directly, or send me a comment on YouTube, and I'll get with you. I think my phone number is even public on Facebook. It's probably public on YouTube somewhere. I'm easy to get a hold of, generally speaking. You should be able to email me or text me or whatever. Just don't call me because I don't like answering the phone. I'm a millennial. Sorry. As a matter of fact, I'll tell you all right now in chat. If you want to send me a text on WhatsApp or SMS because you don't have Facebook Messenger, my phone number is 217-979-2349. I prefer Facebook Messenger, but you can text me. I'll put it in chat real quick in case anybody missed that. Just if you do text me, send me a text with your name so I know who is texting me. There we go. But yes, we have room for RVs. We have room for closed trailers. Bring it on.
Industries. Said, Will's phone 217-979-2349.
Could you have read that
Bill
any
Taylor
slower?
Said, he really hates talking on phones, trust me.
It's because in almost any situation, I'm actually faster to help on Messenger because I can send videos and I can send pictures, and that makes it way easier to describe problems and help people when they're working on things. Also, if you're calling my personal number, I assume this is not a business call because that is a different number for business. I won't answer Festiva store questions on my personal phone. So if you call the store my business number, I will answer that. So if you really want to talk to me, you can go online and find my business number for the Festiva store and call me there, I suppose. But otherwise, messaging is a lot easier. That way, especially if I'm busy or from the middle of a project, it's really easy for me to get back to you versus like my phone's ringing. Or if somebody called me right now on stream, I try to answer it on stream. That'd be a pain in the butt. Let's get our fuel lines and fuel rail put on real quick, shall we? Actually, chat, camera one, camera two, camera over camera there. I need to go grab my injectors because Steven just dropped them off. So talk amongst yourselves. I'm gonna grab my injectors so we can put them back on, and I know better where to put my fuel line, and I know where to run my wires.
Said, Will has helped me remotely more times than I can count. Said, What you guys working on ATM?
And
K1224 said, I'm working on a BP swap for a Festi. K1224 said, Will, what are you planning on doing for the exhaust system?
good question. Oh, I just lost my fuel spacer. Get back here. All right. The exhaust will be all stainless, 2.5-inch front to back. I will be running possibly a mid resonator, but as bare minimum, I have a high flow cat. I probably won't run it though because I want to have a lot of crackle and pop on V cell. And then in honor of original V1, I don't know how many people know the JD Festiva story or have seen JD Festiva V1. That was the one on regular car views for those who saw that. But I always had that big exhaust on the bumper, like just bolted the bumper sideways, pointing up the sky. I'll be doing it again. But this time, I'll be doing it with a full carbon fiber Yoshimura exhaust, which fits the JDM/American theme, and it's all stainless and carbon fiber. It has an angled tip, so I'm mounting the bumper sideways like before. Tip points straight out, and this should be big enough to handle. This is from a Gixxer 1300, so I mean it's meant to flow a buttload of very hot exhaust, so this should work on a car.
K1224 said, Yeah, I wanted your V1 headlights drooling face.
Yeah, so do I. I am working on that grill again. I'm trying to get the grill fixed. I'm 3D modeling it, and then once I have it fully modeled, I will work on getting it recreated, either reprinted or the bolt's not long enough. Are you kidding me? Okay.
Said, Have you seen the Hand Dynamics K Festi? I think it's a K20.
Yes, of course, because it gets posted to the group every 2 days. So they repost the same video, and then somebody post it again, and then they post it again. Ugh. for now, that's all I'm going to say about the Ham Dynamics Festiva.
K1224 said, seems like too much work for zero traction.
Yes, and he'd get a lot more traction if he bought good tires or good suspension, or I don't know, followed like half the advice given to him that he keeps ignoring. But that's a story for another day. He shows promise, though. A lot of people in the group, a lot of people that do Honda swaps, and somebody's like, "Hey, you're doing this wrong," and you tell them like to please do it right, or pay attention, or follow some advice, or like, "Hey, this has been done before."
Said, okay, well, I think he's building it for giggles, not really for a real build.
He, it's a bit of both. He posts. He's in the page, so he posts in the group fairly often, and he's asked for help. He's done some things. Some of the stuff he's doing is really good work, and then some of the stuff.
K1224 said, fair. Sometimes you just gotta do it to do it.
He seems to have the goal of actually like.
Said, I for one am tired of seeing that.
Yeah, and he doesn't post it all the time, which is like another thing. Like, I don't mind that he's building it. I don't mind him posting it. It's other people then see the video after he's posted it and they repost it. So like 10 people post the same video 10 times in a row. Meanwhile, the guy himself, Ham Dynamics, has posted his own video like on the page for us to look at, but nobody checks. Moral of the story, I guess, he's doing a pretty decent job. I think he'd be doing a much better job if he followed the advice given to him when he asked questions. Most of all, though, I'm glad he's actually just doing it. A lot of times, Honda swaps end up people scrapping the car and they realize it's a pain in the ass and nothing works right, and there's a ton of custom parts you have to make. At least he actually built it and he's actually driving it. That's really good news. It didn't end up scrapped. That's fantastic. So that alone gives him major points as far as I'm concerned in the Festiva group.
Said, I am talking about all the repost, of course.
Yeah.
2. Said, dude's just good at marketing with the kids in the vids and stuff.
All right, fuel lines back in temporarily so we can look at our routing for our wiring. I think the wire for the flex fuel sensor can actually just run nice and neat alongside our AN lines with a little plastic holder. I think I heard a door by the house. I hope it's my wife coming to help me.
User said, "Brother, I haven't even showered yet."
Fine. You know they can't smell you through the
YouTube
camera.
user said, "I am starving though. What's for dinner?"
Great question. I'm stuck in the garage. Sorry, so I guess you'll have to figure out dinner.
Said, "I'm ordering Marcos in a bit myself."
Is that pizza?
said. Pizza it is what's for dinner. User said. Yeah, should I get us some Domino's?
I do love me some Domino's.
Said. Our Domino's sucks, but Galactica local place is the bomb.
All right, there's our Mac valve. And guys, I almost fell into a pitfall here. I was like saying earlier that I have a bunch of space in the back of the block to mount my Mac valve, but no, I'm a goober. That's where the dang starter has to go. And right now the starter's not in there. So I totally forgot the starter was a thing. And it's like literally that big space is open because there's no starter. I also don't have the alternator on right now, so I need to keep that in mind as I'm locating things. An alternator has to go there at some point. They're all critical things we do not want to forget. A little more tape. So we might end up installing more items to this engine before we get too far, like actually putting an alt in, putting the starter in, putting some more wire holders in place, just to make sure we have everything physically where it needs to be. Otherwise, though, this is looking pretty good. What's this doing? I guess it's extra something else. Might chop him.
K1224 said, "Are you going with a V-belt or rib belt for accessories?"
This is a small nose crank engine, so I can only use a V belt. They don't make a ribbed small nose crank pulley, which should be fine. V belt for my accessories is totally fine. I'm running a standard like 90 amp alt, and the water pump V belt will be just perfectly mint. If I go ever to a large nose crank, I then will switch to ribbed, just for the. Well, maybe I won't actually, because all my other stuff uses V belt, and I just have so many belts on hand. But yeah, V belt for now, and it'll probably stay that way. Having a really good think now. So I've got a lot more accessories. They're like relay triggered. So how do I want to go from the relay to those accessories? Because a lot of that goes through the dash and then through the old harness spot into the car. All right, what the heck? Let's get that starter in place then. Well, I've done a better job cleaning this, but I guess not. It's still quite oily. This is a used one from an MB2 Miata, so it's more compact, spins faster, takes up less space, and weighs a lot less, which is, all benefits. I got a good deal on this one used many, many moons ago. I don't need to fully install it. I just need to get it in there enough so that we can make sure we wire it in. Actually, I don't think I even put the starter on my wiring diagrams. But it does need wires from the battery. So alternator and starter wiring, like the big main power wires, we do still have to put those in our diagram at some point. Tonight might be the night for that. I also need to clean these holes. This thing's really gross. I could buy a new one, but aftermarket starters are going to be a lot worse than a used OEM one. Modern quality, especially. And by modern quality, I mean lack thereof. Right now, it's where I'd be using my brake clean if I knew where it was.
Said, are you going to paint match the bay?
I haven't decided what color yet, but it'll probably be like a really dark charcoal metallic color. That way, it still shows off the bay, then hides the imperfections where needed.
K1224 said, I picked up a used, like new, Miata starter last week for $37 on eBay.
Yeah, was it from Alex Todd? His eBay store is great. He has so many Miata parts, so affordable.
Said, Saudi.
Ugh, this thing's so gross.
K1224 said, his account name is Ace Miata Man.
else. Still, great deal. Should know that bolt is not near long enough. Nope. That bolt should be long enough. Finally.
Said, I've started hazarding parts to rebuild my own starters and alternators.
That is a good long-term idea right there. All right, guys, what are we missing? Let's go back to our list of parts here real quick. All right, the Mac controller, or Mac we have, the drive-by-wire we have, coolant temp. Oh, I didn't do that one. Gotta make sure to do that one. That's in the intake. Cam we have, fuel pressure. Fuel pressure? I don't think we're running that one. Flex we have, speedometer we have, crank we have, IAT we have. Oil pressure we don't have. We need to add that. Ignition coils we have, injectors we have, fuel pump is not part of the engine bay. Alright, so we need to add our oil. We need to add coolant tank. I forgot where the coolant port is supposed to be on the JDM intake. There's another one over here, though. Alright. It's right above the water inlet. Yep, that checks out. call this one H2O. A lot of the rest of the work I have to do for this will probably be on the computer, trying to digitize some stuff and plan more out for the thick wire run before I'm not going to try it physically. So I ask you, chat, is watching me mess around with the computer on a harness sometime this week or next week, is that something you guys like to see? If I stream like my screen, or would that be boring? Let me know if that's something you guys want to watch. Wish I knew what that tape was. Like that for free.
Chicken said, I would love to watch you work on the computer.
All right. One person said it, so I'll do it. And of course, if you're not there when I'm live, it will be recorded as always. So, but you know, being there live is better. That way we can chat and ask questions, and you guys can see my documents and get a peek at some of the things I try to think about ahead of time. Keyword try. It's kind of hard sometimes to really think through a harness. You may see where I just put that tape roll. Oh, behind my knee.
Chicken said, watching the unedited process is fascinating to me.
Well, good. Glad to hear it. I feel the same way sometimes. Sometimes I just want a quick guide that's edited so I can see what's going on. Sometimes it's good to get a look like how they got to some conclusions and how they really thought about it, like the process behind the thinking. Sometimes it's good to know that sort of stuff. All right, the tape label for our drive-by-wire. that. All right, and here is our other sub harness. So this goes to one of the connectors. From here we go to the branch point behind the intake. Branch off, we have our oil pressure slash temp. Then up, wrapping around to the back, we have our map sensor and our throttle body slash ride-by-wire stuff on their sub harness. Keep going forward, split point for our water temp sensor. Wires keep going for a bit. Another split point here. We go over our MAC valve. We go to our speedo sensor, and then all the way over by the fuel rail or by the fuel. Okay, by the brake booster. Next to the brake booster is our flex fuel sensor. I think that's all our actuators. So here's one sub harness. It goes to all that junk that I just described. Their other sub harness is not currently labeled or wrapped, so I think we should label and wrap it to get an idea of what we're working with here. This is cam. And this is crank. And this is my tape.
K1224 said, "Do it."
Are you guys really behind, like on the live stream? Is it delayed? Because that's a long gap.
K1224 said, "Oops, stream was like 10 minutes behind."
Okay,
Bill Taylor
I was wondering.
said, "Looks like you got it done with no help."
Well, my help is still helping me because they're getting dominoes, so I'll count it. And I still have some other stuff to think about. I completely forgot. Like I literally, in all my planning, I forgot I have to wire in the alternator and I have to wire in the starter. I thought about it later. I remember buying connectors for that reason, but I don't remember what I plan to do with the routing.
Said, "It's been rather slow to post." Healer said, "Hello everyone, Cowboy Hat Face YouTube hiding you again."
Hello, Ryle. Just in time for me to almost be done. That's okay. We still appreciate your presence. And then you can see my work here as I finish it up. I know, actually, I'm sorry. You guys should have told me you guys can't see me at all. I would have adjusted the camera better. I'm working on the floor because my table's full of crap right now. Let me just do some of that. Another mosquito. Surprised. Normally they're like Michelle. They don't touch me. Must be eating too healthy.
Healer said, "Oh no, can't forget starter or alternator now." Healer said, "God am."
All right. My other sub harness is now, I think, complete. You guys can see that. Ta-da. I'll try to bring it closer to the camera. And again, we'll talk about it. So here we go. This is the end. It's going to go with the bulkhead connector. From there, it's going to go up behind the intake again. This branch is injectors. So we have injectors 1, 2, 3, 4. And I'm going to run the wires like between the fins of the intake. So this isn't batch fire. I just have them paired this way because it's going to physically run between the runners. Then just past the injectors, from that same split, we have our cam sensor. Then, so that's where we started. We're going to keep going down past those. Around the corner of the head, towards the bottom now, dangling from there, we have our crank sensor. And then we have our ignition subharness. So our coils. So coil 1, coil 2, coil 3, coil 4. Well, other way around. Coil 4, 3, 2, coil 1 on the tip.
Said. Looks good.
All right, now I can put this back in here. Start with this one since it's the more fiddly of the two. Plug you in. Across the top. I think I hear my wife.
Hello.
Howdy.
Hi. How's it going?
See any harness?
No.
Fantastic.
I see rope.
Oh. Wait, what happened to my signal?
No, you really can't see much.
I forgot to do this camera swapping. Okay. So that's one harness.
Yeah.
So we have injector. Oh, yeah, look. There they are. They're hiding. Injector.
Yeah, very
injector.
strong.
Coil. Crank sensor, cam sensor.
You really don't want to make it too...
Where'd you go?
What?
I think it's all over here, pal.
Yeah, I didn't see nothing.
We're not done.
I'm gonna order some pizza.
Oh, you didn't do that yet?
No.
Oh, no.
I'm working on it though. Sorry.
The stream's almost done.
Oh, really? Why?
Because that made the ropes.
It's done?
I'm trying to show it to you. You just left. You
Shit,
walked
it's
off
over?
before I could show you the ropes.
Don't you need more than
Said.
that?
Hey, Michelle.
Bill said, hey.
Hey, buddy.
You weren't looking at the thing.
I'm gonna order you pizza, bro.
Too late. We're beyond that.
We're beyond pizza? Hello, Disco Dog. Hi, puppy. How do you...
Said. This pizza is awesome BTW.
Yeah, it looks
Yeah.
really good. She sent us a picture. You want pizza, yeah?
Yeah. Take a picture from the bottom. Check our harness cleanliness here. So, can you turn the lights off for a second?
Turn the lights off?
Yeah.
How many? How much?
Like this whole back corner, like the left corner. Okay.
They're good or no?
That's perfect. All right, turn it back on.
Said, I'm scared of the dark.
Me too. That's why you always keep a flashlight on you.
Don't worry, guys. I'll keep you safe. Don't they have like a here's what you ordered last time kind of thing?
Yeah.
Where's that?
On the side menu.
Where you said items?
That'd be it.
Yeah, but it's only giving me like. Oh, there we go. You like barbecue sauce, pepperoni, and bacon?
So those all sound great.
Oh, do you want hand tossed or handmade pan?
Whichever.
Said, that's right, always have a flashlight.
Oh man.
All right, chat. We gotta extend the speedo wire a good bit. I need to put it where I want it better.
Yeah, don't make them so short that like you have no room for error.
No, you have to have no room for error.
Yeah, but like that just sounds dangerous.
No, it has to be that way. Otherwise, you have floppy cords like
Can't you trim it once you put the connectors on it?
Said,
and it's in the bag?
extend speedo sensor.
Once you wrap it, that's it.
Yeah, but you wrap it. Can you wrap it without putting the connector on?
You have to wrap it before you pin it.
Right. So before you
even crimp the things on.
Said,
right. So
hand
it's wrapped,
tossed, always
you can
hand
have it
tossed.
a little bit long, so that when you do all the pinning and you put the connector
Oh,
on,
sure.
you chop it just right.
Yes.
Because now it's in.
Yes.
Dude, they updated their website. Kind of hate it.
I was just on it a little while ago. Oh, speaking of, I need to get drinks in the freezer. Talk to chat for me.
What's up, chat?
Make sure everybody comes to Harvestiva.
Hey, everybody, come to Harvestiva.
That was the weakest sale pitch I've ever heard in my life. And I've heard some bad ones.
Well, yeah. Why do they all need to come to Harvestiva?
Because one of the best meats.
Is it?
Mountain Steve as well. Dude, it's soon.
Yeah, Mountain Steva's coming up. Yeah, everybody go to Mountain Steva. That's where the real party's at.
Said, what up?
It's
There.
just, it really
Now everybody can watch
slow.
Michelle order Domino's and she refuses to move
Oh,
somewhere
hi.
convenient.
Sorry. I'm ordering
Alright, talk to
food.
chat. I have to go find.
What's up, chat?
Wait, what did I say I was finding?
I don't know. Oh, you're putting drinks in the freezer.
Oh, yeah.
I know that for sure. What's up, chat? Hey, so Bill, I'm not gonna make it to Mountain Siva, but Will be there. Try not to party too hard without me. I know it'll be hard. I bring the fun. But I'm gonna be exhausted from school. I just know it. So there's another thing I want to do that weekend that's here. But Will be there, and he's almost as fun as me. Almost.
Said, "You know I won't miss Harvestiva."
Yes, which I'm excited you'll be there. Is Angie gonna make it to Harvestiva? I'd love to see her. I'm sad I'm missing Mountain Siva this year.
Said, "Ah, but well, make it work."
I missed the real words there. Yeah, I'm sorry, but Will be there, which is good. Ugh, I'm just a loser when it comes to August. Can you believe it's already August? Ugh. Let's not talk about it being August. Let's all pretend like it's not. So,
Said, "Probably not."
oh, I'll miss her, but I can't blame her. It's a long drive. It's even a long drive for us, you know? Okay. Ordering the pizza. I don't know
K1224
why it's taking me so long.
said, "I'm not too mad about August. July was way too hot to be in the garage."
Oh, dude,
Bill
so
Taylor
for real.
said, "It's all good, I understand."
It has been crazy hot. Crazy hot. Today was the first really nice day, though. Did everybody get out and enjoy the day? I go to my friends on Fridays. She's been doing fun Fridays where she just got a pool and Fridays are ladies' days.
"It's like me 9.5 hours from me."
Yeah, that's a lot. Yeah, I really can't blame her then. Freaking mosquito trying to bite me. It's so rude. But yeah, so my good friend, she just got a pool and she's doing ladies' days every Friday. So today was essentially the last like Friday summer day. But it was almost like cold, you know, after you've had 90 degrees for so long. All of a sudden, it's like, ooh, chilly. I don't know where to put in my gift card. Deal or promo code? No.
Said, "It was 85 here and 90% humidity."
Ooh, that 90% humidity, though, that'll mess with you. Hey, Maverick. He's a big boy. Domino's gave me an error.
Weird.
Did it just take everything out of my cart? Because I will lose it. Yes, little dog. Yeah, it's so much slower than it used to be. Should just get the app back.
I hate the app.
I know, but look. It gave me an error, and now my cart's not loading.
Sue me.
Now my cart's empty. Now it looks good. Bad.
Alright. Where are the rest of these guys at? Idea.
Said,
I don't know what those are.
"Plus I had 8 pools to service."
Oh, yeah,
Bill
that's
Taylor
a job.
said, "Yuck."
Maybe they are in my cart now?
find yourself quick, partner, because I'm
Chicken.
starving Marvin's.
Said,
I'm trying.
okay.
Is it okay? What's going on?
I don't know. Yeah, 90-degree humidity, that's pretty awful. But at least it wasn't like, 95 plus 90-degree humidity. I feel like that's what it has been recently, and I'm over it. And if that means school has to start, well, then that means school has to start. Purchase like new point redemption. Huh? Oh, is that the problem? You can't mix and match? Can't do both? Yo, son of a bitch. See,
Said,
it says subtotal,
the
but then looks
reflection
like
of
your card's
Maverick
empty.
wagging his tail is cute.
Alright, Michelle's just complaining about Domino's, so we'll
I am-
dog cam.
I am crashing out, dude. Look, it says it looks like your cart is empty, but it gives me a subtotal though.
I'll see you.
Being bested by a
Said.
freaking website.
Locally, school starts August 24th.
That's late. Are you sure that's not like the college? What happened to my arm? I know these bites were a thing, but did I scratch my sleeve? Look at that.
I don't know. Put it from the dog.
Oh, probably from earlier. That makes more sense. See, it's not working.
Said, _ Maverick.
Cute. Yeah, so we as teachers have stuff all next week. And then the week after kids come. I think it's like August 13th. But we're supposed to be as teachers there like every day. And I'm like, ugh, why? Do you see what I'm saying? Am I crazy? I also couldn't find where to put in the gift card. You didn't put in the gift card. Good.
I went through and said, yes, I want to pick up, confirm pickup location, and it said, okay,
I did all
check
of that.
out. And I said, okay, and it checked out.
Well, what the heck? Now that's real money. Silly boy.
Get along.
Check it out.
Said, note the high school down the road has a sign August 24th.
Wow. Huh. I see, puppy. Yeah, holy cow, that's late. I just looked up the Asheville City School calendar.
Said, WD.
WD, I don't know what that means. But yeah, they start the Asheville City Schools. I looked that up. They start August 25th, but they don't end until June 5th. Yeah, gross. We should, depending on weather, we should be out before June. that makes a little bit more sense then. Maverick, you're saying a lot of things to me. I don't know what you're trying to say. Oh, honey. Your nails still look so long.
Said, we may go later in the year than y'all.
Yeah, it seems like it. Where are they at?
What?
Oh, I'm under them. Hi.
Why is that complaining?
I don't know. She got nothing to complain about.
That's what I'm saying.
Said, Buncombe County I think starts a day earlier.
Yeah. What do you think, Mav? What do you think?
All right, that might be the end of the stream for today.
Oh, really? You're all done? That's
Yeah.
gonna be bring the
So
pizza out to you.
as always, I'll make a. Yeah, I know. That's what I thought too.
Alright.
As always, I'll make another stream and stuff if I'm gonna be doing more stuff on the. Don't bump me on the computer.
He's starving.
Right here. Come here. Hi, big dog. Look at this big dog.
Where's your big boy?
Look at that big dog. So yeah, I'll set up another stream on the computer for when we're doing the computer stuff later. I have to really think about where I'm going to run this alt wiring, and then we have to kind of reconsider. I think we're going to run the power wiring because as it stands, I'm not running anything towards the fuse box right now. So if I can get all the fused wires to run inside the bay, that'd be great.
He lost a bunch of days due to Helene last year too.
Oh yeah, so true.
But Michelle, that's pretty stealthy. I mean, I've got freaking
No,
neon.
that's really good.
I've got neon green wire, and from here you can only see one really.
Yeah.
And it's mostly it's gonna be black. It's gonna hide along.
Right. No, that's really good. Dude, these dogs are going at it, man. It's so funny because Echo's really talkative when she plays with Maverick, but when she plays with her cousin Nala, silent. Oh God. Now there's a bone involved, and that's dangerous.
Take her down.
Punch her in the face, bro.
She's running. She's running. Echo, bring it here.
Maverick one.
And she's got the bone.
Yeah, it's true.
Arr.
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 Arr. Yeah, would recommend coming to Harvestiva, mostly because the puppies are there. So,
Get them.
would recommend. They're good company. Get her. Mess that little girl up. Yeah, punch her in the face. Do it.
Said, dog pile LOL.
Yes, a good boy.
All right. As always, thank you guys so much for watching. We hope to see you next time. See you. Boy. This good boy. If you don't mind pressing the red button, the top middle.